Re-elections, Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong. Sir, good evening and welcome to the Chiefs.
Good evening po, Professor Ed, Ma'am Lucy, Secretary Orly, at si Rabi.
Si Rabi, sir.
Good evening po.
Yes, sir.
Sir, hindi po Professor si Ed.
Hindi, si
dalawa yung
Professor
Professor at saka si Ed.
Ako, Miron Ed lang ako eh. Miron Ed.
Professor Ed. Tama.
Miron Ed. Lucy, bato ko lang sa yung first question for Mayor Magalong.
Mayor Magalong, what do you think won it for you? I mean, of course, congratulations, and we're not really surprised that you won, but what do you think made for you on election day?
Well, for some reason, probably people felt there's really good governance. And we even, elevated it several notches higher. So we're calling it good governance beyond politics, and people felt that. It's fight between traditional politics and good governance.
But of course, people most remember you for your role during the pandemic. Do you think that that was crucial in your re-election?
Siguro, Ma'am Lucia, most probably. Pero alam nyo, short-lived ang memory ng mga tao eh.
Yeah.
In fact, many of them forgot about what transpired during the pandemic, except for the health workers. Probably what they saw more on the infrastructure. There was a survey that was conducted. Hindi naman ho gaanong visible yung number 3 lang yung COVID-19 More on more on the change that they saw in the city of Baguio. Number 3 lang po yung COVID-19 management.
What particular change would that be?
Well, they saw
what particular change, yes.
Yeah, they saw a lot of infrastructure projects, road widening, more strategic projects, road widening, yung mga infrastructure like sidewalks, new sidewalks, wider sidewalks, better sidewalks. Yung mga parks, they saw the rehabilitation of many of the parks, including that of the former dump site, Irisan dump site, na talagang 30 years, talagang napakabaho ng lugar na yun. It even eroded at marami namatay doon. Now we have transformed it into an eco park. Tapos nakita rin yung mga more resilient and more durable na mga high-end na mga barangay halls. Unlike in the past, now we're only investing about 5 million, 8 million for barangay halls. Now we're investing about 50 million, 36 million, 25 million for barangay halls. So yun po yung mga nakikita nila, and what are the programs and what are the plans, what are the catalytic projects that we're doing now to fast track and accelerate economic recovery. So yun po nakikita ng mga tao dito sa Baguio.
Sir, moving forward to your second term, at least in broad strokes, what's your plan for Baguio City on your second term? At least in broad strokes.
Well, many of our plans now are very strategic, so all we have to do is implement it. In fact, this year alone, we have about 31 projects that were planned out for the past 2 years and 10 months. And almost a dozen of these are catalytic projects that would spur or accelerate our economic recovery. And at the same time, some of these projects also are designed to enhance our health and social services. Yun po yung tatlong priority po namin ngayon.
Sir, we don't often hear a mayor talking about strategic and catalytic projects. So you're really talking medium to long term. More or less, what exactly do you mean? These are plans that you're building way ahead of the next few months.
Yes, siguro nasanay lang ho kayo siguro sa yung old paradigm of politics wherein politicians just think about what they're going to do for the next 3 years to get themselves rich. Pero sa amin kasi we're looking at what's going to happen 5 years, 15 years from now, 10 years from now. And what are the things that we need to do to avert any, for example, in the city of Baguio, one of the biggest challenges now is urban decay, which is already happening. This is a result of study that was conducted in NEDA by 2019. So many of our programs now and projects are geared towards addressing this. Because according to experts, if we're not going to move in the next 25 years, then urban decay will be irreversible.
Mayor, Mayor, isang symptom dyan ng urban decay, and whether taga Baguio ka or bumibisita ka lang sa Baguio, damang-dama ng lahat ng tao yung traffic. Kanina nabanggit nyo yung wider sidewalks, more parks, and you said, these are all strategic. Obviously, the strategy includes giving Baguio back to the pedestrians, giving Baguio back to people who are walking, making it more pedestrian-friendly. But at the same time, it now takes from Metro Manila to Baguio. Kami naman, pagdating namin dyan, 3 hours na lang. And really inviting for more motorists. How do you reconcile the rising tourism, the higher accessibility, the easier accessibility, not just for tourists, but for cars to Baguio, at the same time, your vision for a more walkable, more smart city? How do you reconcile that?
Well, alam niyo, we're now working on a very, very ambitious project, a smart mobility transportation system. And if you have gone to Singapore, you probably saw that they have a very efficient public transportation system. So ang aming battle cry once we will implement it would be to make private cars irrelevant in the city of Baguio. Meaning we have to make our public transport very efficient so that it will discourage tourists to bring their own cars, and because parking is a big problem in the city of Baguio. You should understand that Baguio is only designed for 7,000 to 8,000 people. Now we have about, as of latest count, we have about 40 to 45,000 vehicles in 2021. That's registered. Wala pa rin kasama yung mga, hindi pa kasama yung mga dyan, yung mga dala-dala ng mga bisita. Baguio was also designed for only 25,000 people. Now we are about 378. So it requires a lot of, a lot of innovations, and at the same time, you need technology to really manage. That's why we are now closely working with the Singaporeans, ST Engineering, which is state-owned and one of the biggest in Singapore. They have designed and implemented the smart mobility transportation system in Singapore, and they have helped us craft our master plan. We have it approved last January, and ongoing na po yung feasibility study rito sa siyudad ng Baguio. So at the same time, we're now working on a PPP project for the building of an intermodal transport terminal so that buses and vans don't have to enter the city of Baguio. And it's a 5-hectare project that will be undertaken by a winning proponent, hopefully by Megawatt, which is the builder of the Clark International Airport. At yung may-ari ho rin siya ng PTEX. At the same time, they also built the Cebu International Airport.